My name is Ricardo Villalba and I'm the proud owner of Washington Digital Media. The story of Washington Digital Media is very interesting. I started in 2014. I was still working full-time as a youth case manager, a youth advocate. And the reason I started Washington Digital Media was because the previous year I created a program working with adolescents. And the program I developed was using media to educate, and also as a way to keep young people entertained and also engaged. I was presently working at the Latin American Youth Center. Once people saw the work I was doing with these adolescents, a lot of people started calling me and saying, could you do my video and things like that. I started doing fundraising videos. I did a few fundraising videos for a few local organizations. Anyway, just to make a long story short, in August of 2014, I was tired of people calling me, asking me to do videos for them and asking for my social security number. So I decided to form Washington Digital Media. There are many challenges when you start a business. One of the challenges I have originally, before I started Washington Digital Media, I started another small company called Rice and Beans Production. And when I told people the name of my production, they laughed, they didn't take me serious. So the first thing that I have to figure out is that name, just the name of your company must be very important. And especially for me as a Latino and with an accent, a lot of people don't think, I'm a business owner, or they just make assumptions about you. So when I went and I created the company name, Washington Digital Media, that right away resonated with people and I started getting more business. The other challenge that I had was that I'm pretty much self-funding my business. I started, with nothing. I use, contracts money, or I use my credit cards to purchase my first equipment. And once I got paid for a job, I paid it back and things like that. There weren't that many financial opportunities for people like me to start a business. I don't have a rich uncle, and I'm not inheriting anything from my mom. If anything, she still depends on me. So it's just, being a solo entrepreneur, being an entrepreneur, and just trying to get yourself going in this country can be a challenge. But thanks God, I work hard, and when you put in work, it pays. And 6 years later, we're here in business and growing. Washington Digital Media is different in many ways. First, we are a bilingual company. We can do videos in Spanish and English. We understand both markets. We understand the American market as well as we understand the Latino market. We're able to produce content for both markets. The other thing that a lot of people say about Washington Digital Media is that we are very friendly people. We do our best to keep our clients happy. We go the extra mile to produce high quality videos. And the one thing that we do, we use a cinematic style. Like I said, I went to film school, so the style that I use for my films are not the type of, videography that anybody can do. It's something that, I come from something that I study, that I practice, and we do things in a way that they're not only engaging, but also very artistic. When I went to film school and I learned about the history of film, and one of the best directors in the history of film cinematography was Orson Welles. And I really like his style of filmmaking. I really like his style of cinematography, because he doesn't only use voices on the video, on the films. He also makes sure the images are connected with the message he's trying to show, or what kind of feeling he's trying to give to the audience. And that's one of the things that I try to use a lot in my filmmaking, and what I teach my cinematographers to focus on. It's not just somebody just speaking to the camera. It's everything around it has to look good, has to look cinematic, has to look attractive. Sometimes if you have too much stuff on the background, that could be distractive. Sometimes if you don't have much, it can be boring. So you have to find a balance when you come into filming and all that. And that's one of the things that I think my company and I pride ourselves in doing, is that we do things that are very creative, very cinematic. COVID has been a very challenging time for all of us. Thanks God, for me and for Washington Digital Media, we were able to rise up during COVID, because as a video production and digital marketing firm, people needed our services more than ever. companies, organizations that didn't take advantage of video in the past or didn't take advantage of marketing online or on the internet, they realized during COVID how important it is to stay connected with your audience, with your clients, even with your staff. And we were able to do pretty good during COVID. We stayed very busy. I was working all through the pandemic. One of the things that I did is that I contact people running for political positions. A lot of politicians hire me. I did videos for about 6 different candidates that were running for city council in DC. And at the same time, I was able to hire people and provide jobs to people. So last year for us was the best year for Washington Digital Media. And we continue to grow this year. We have big plans for 2021. One of the things that I'm working on right now is renting a new office space, a pretty big office space, about 8,300 square feet, in which we're going to build some studios, video and photography studios to do shows, to films, and try to do everything in-house. As you can see right now, we work out of a house, but we need a bigger space that we can create a lot more content. In addition to having a big studio to work out, not only for us to produce content, but I also want to make it available to the community that they can rent the space and they can produce their own content and things like that. Not only they can come and produce their own content there, if they don't have a camera person, we can provide that. If they don't have equipment, we can rent them the equipment. They can just come and do everything out of our office space. In addition to that, I'm looking to open the Washington Digital Media Academy. And my vision is to have a school and teach people videography, video editing, graphic and web design, digital marketing, and also training to be an entrepreneur. So they can go work for somebody or they can become self-employed and work for themselves as consultant for different companies or businesses or nonprofits that need the services. Nowadays, digital marketing is the best way to reach people and everybody needs it. Many organizations are realizing that they don't only need a web designer, they also now need somebody that can do videos, someone that can help them with the promotion, with the internet marketing and things like that. And look at it, we are in Washington, DC. You have 500 Congress people and 100 senators, and they need somebody to manage their social media as well. And that's what I want to do, open the school to train people to be ready for those jobs. The future is here and we need to take advantage of it. The process for me to make videos, when it comes to creating video, there is a process. Many people follow different process. In my case, I have learned I call it guerrilla filmmaking, in which I try to adapt to the situation that I'm at, I adapt to the budget that I'm working with, and I adapt with the equipment that I have available to make my films and create, a very interesting and engaging final video product. So depending on what is the goal of the client, or depending on what is my goal, I start from there. When I work, when we produce a movie with one of my senior producers, he wrote the script, he directed everything. So I was just there as supporting him and making sure everything was correct. When I direct, when I produce films, when it's something that I want to do, I usually do a storyboard. I write the script. And a lot of times, most of the time, since I'm the director, I already have a vision in my head. I imagine how the story is going to unfold. Where do I want to shoot? And a lot of times, it's not just me putting the camera, Sometimes I may focus just on the footsteps. Sometimes I may focus on what they're holding in their hands. Sometimes I may focus in their faces or in their eyes. Whatever is the feeling that I want to do, or whatever I want the audience to feel, I think about that, how I can get the audience to feel a certain way. Do I want my audience to feel happy? Do I want my audience to feel sad? Do I want my audience to be curious about what I'm about to tell them? So I think about all those things as I start planning how I'm going to shoot and tell this story in a creative and engaging way. Every time I think about it, what kind of advice would I give to my younger self? I made a lot of mistakes in my life. And at the same time, I learned from those mistakes. I believe I had an amazing life. I wish I would have gone, follow my dreams sooner. But at the same time, I probably wouldn't have the life experience that I have now, working as a youth counselor, working with the community, running different other businesses, kind of prepare me to be successful in what I'm doing now. Right now, working for my company, for Washington Digital Media, is my passion. It's something that I love doing. Nobody tells me, you need to go to work. I get up and I come to work, and I probably put about between 8 to 10 hours a day in my business. Sometimes I'm even working on the weekends and all that. So I love what I do. So the only advice I can have for people, or even younger people, and I wouldn't give advice to my younger self because I'm pretty happy with the way my life turned out. But my advice to young people is that you need to follow your heart. You need to find what makes you happy, because a lot of times we focus on making money. And yes, money helps with happiness, but eventually you get tired of it, or eventually, that's why we have a lot of people with a lot of money that are still not happy with themselves. But if you find your passion and you focus on that, if you do what you love, every day you come to work doing what you love, it doesn't even feel like work. And when you're doing what you love, it's so much easier to do it well. And that's something that, set us apart here at Washington Digital Media. Everybody that works here, we love what we do. And because of that, we do quality work. So my advice to people is find what you love and follow your dreams, follow your heart, and do it. But one of the things that I learned throughout my life is that you have to be patient too. You have to be patient, you have to be determined, and you got to put a lot of hard work. It takes a lot, to become a business owner, entrepreneur. So if that's your goal and that's what you want to do, I give already credit to you. But at the same time, it's a lot of work, It's a lot of work. It's a lot of time spending, educating yourself, preparing yourself. When I decided to start Washington Digital Media, I never knew that I have to learn about accounting. I have to learn about, how to deal with clients. I have to learn about how to deal with creators, with other filmmakers, with other producers, with editors. And everybody comes with the different personalities, the different egos. So I have to become a people person. So ultimately, I feel that that's one of the things. Not only I am a creative person, and not only I'm a filmmaker, I'm also a people person. I have to figure out where I can put the different talents that my team has so they can be most effective for the business and for the final product we want to create. At the same time, like I said, it takes hard work, it takes dedication, but when you follow your dream and you do what you like, you'll be happy and hopefully also be successful.